It's hard to fathom that we've been doing this for our 66th year. The first event of this kind took place 2 years before they first aired the first television broadcast of the Indiana State basketball finals.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
At this time, could everybody bow their heads and close their eyes? Lord, thank you for bringing us together to this wonderful event. Thank you for letting us all play the basketball game that we love so much. We are so blessed to be able to play for the ISSA basketball because there's no other state like ours with the history of basketball. We are very grateful for the people up here that have made this event possible, but we know without your loving and caring ways, we wouldn't be here. We also would like to thank our coaches for all the times they put in with us every day in the gym. Lord, we ask that you bless the hands that made the food for us because they did a wonderful job. And once again, thank you for everyone. In the name of Jesus, I pray, amen.
You'll be hearing from most of the people from our head table here today throughout the course of the luncheon. A highlight each year since 1947, when we began this luncheon, has been to honor the state finals coaches. Each year since 1991, we have asked schools to nominate seniors from their high school basketball team for the Academic All-Star Award. And I would ask at this time for President Pat and our guest speaker today, Austin Croshere, to step forward for the presentation of these awards, if they'll step up here with me. These scholarships were created in 1991, 22 years ago. In 1995, we added the Jim Mills Award, and the Mills family makes a monetary contribution each year. And then in 2008, we brought the Pacers on board, and since 2008, each year the Pacers give us $5,500 for these scholarships. 4 players get $1,000 each, and the MVP gets a $1,500 scholarship. So at this time, I think they're all 5 are here today. I would ask the recipients to come up to the on stage for a presentation of a special award. In alphabetical order, the 4 members of the team are Charlie Dant, Warren Central High School. Brian Falinger, Lutheran High School. Cole Toner, Roncalli High School. And Daniel Wagner, Bishop Chittard High School. Each of these 4 individuals will receive, in addition to a plaque, a $1,000 scholarship to a college of their choice. And the final member of the Academic All-Stars, the MVP, and you'll see in your program there's the criteria that's used to make these awards. The MVP, who will receive a $1,500 scholarship, Austin Croshere, Park Tudor High School. Austin, congratulations. Most of us remember our featured speaker today, Austin Croshere, for his 8 years playing with the Indiana Pacers. He is currently, and has been since February 2010, an analyst for Fox Sports Indiana, broadcast of the Indiana Pacer games. He was born and raised in Santa Monica, California, graduate of Providence College in Rhode Island. At 6'10", he was a hard-nosed player who was the 12th round pick in the 1997 NBA draft. During his 12-year career in the NBA, he shot 34% from three-point range. In the 1999-2000 season, he helped the Pacers advance to the NBA Finals. He was a key backup during the Rick Carlisle years with the Pacers and helped again against the Detroit Pistons series in 2004 Eastern Conference Finals. After leaving the Pacers, he played for the Dallas Mavericks, Golden State Warriors, Milwaukee Bucks, and the San Antonio Spurs. He's been a steadfast supporter of many community causes, ranging from Make-A-Wish Foundation, Boys Club, and the Alzheimer's Foundation. I especially want to recognize that he had the inept intelligence to marry a girl from Perry Township down on the south side where I live. And he and his wife Emily are the proud parents of 3 children. Please welcome a Pacer great who embodies a real love and passion for basketball, Austin Croshere.
Thank you. It's truly an honor to be able to speak here today, and it's an honor for 2 reasons. One, I've been in the seats that you guys are sitting in. I never had the honor of playing in a state championship game, but I was a member of a couple of all-state teams in which we had a banquet, and we had guest speakers at those banquets. And one year, Lisa Leslie came and spoke to us. She was in college at the time, and she's gone on to be one of the greatest female athletes of all time. And in that luncheon, she talked about time management and how in high school everything's kind of taken care of for you. When you get to college, you're going to have a lot more time on your hands, and you have to manage your time wisely. And that was something that stuck with me in college and really helped. And hopefully some of the things that I talk about, something you will take on with you. The other reason why it's an honor is because of the group that asked me to speak here today. Kiwanis is a worldwide organization that gives back to communities locally. The downtown group has done tremendous things in this community over the years, and I'm proud to speak on their behalf. I grew up at service clubs in Los Angeles, doing things from collecting cans, glass, bailing newspapers, pancake breakfast, yard sales, whatever it might have been, to give back to the community. So this is truly an honor for me. So I understand that many of you have a game this weekend. And the question I ask you is, how do you want to remember it? Before we talk about that, I want to talk about being successful. And to me, being successful embodies 3 things. 1 is a natural skill or ability at whatever it is you're trying to be successful at. All of you are here in this state championship game. You have a natural ability to play basketball. For me at 6'9", it was pretty obvious at an early age what an ability that I had that was going to help me. The second thing is that you have to surround yourselves with good people. And many of you have not necessarily chosen the people that you surround yourselves with. They've been friends for a long time. Your parents, certainly in your family, extended family, are members of that group, and maybe they've made sacrifices for you. They moved to a certain school district because they thought that that would help you as a better basketball player or as a student. Maybe they didn't like the school district you were in and they paid money for you to go to a private school. Whatever it is, you've been surrounded by good people, especially your coaches as well. And then the last thing is that you have to want it, and you have to work incredibly hard. Those of you wouldn't be competing for a state championship if you hadn't practiced hard and prepared yourself for this moment. 3 things: a natural ability, surround yourselves with people that foster and nourish that ability, and then you work incredibly hard. One of the great things about sports is that it really transcends into other areas. For many of you, your last basketball game competitively will be this weekend. For those of you who are underclassmen, your senior year, it will be your last game. Some of you will go on to play in college and hopefully one day in the pros, but eventually it'll be over. And for me, having a 12-year NBA career, which is a very long time, it still ended at 34 years old. And the things that made me successful as an athlete carry over. When you go to college, it might become a little bit more difficult to identify a talent or skill that you will excel at. But through your courses in 4 years, you will find something, and when you do, you must embrace it. I had a college coach, Pete Gillen, who coached at Xavier. He coached me at Providence College, and then he was at University of Virginia. And after a practice my sophomore year where he didn't feel like I was giving it my all, he called me into his office, and he said, "Austin, I'm going to tell you something. Life is very, very hard. Anything that you want to do in your life that you want to be successful at, you are going to have to work incredibly hard. So you might as well pick something that you love doing and you have a natural inclination for being successful at." And that always stuck with me. The second thing is that you have to continue to surround yourselves with good people. The majority of the people that you've been around in high school will no longer be around you on a daily basis when you go to college. Maybe a couple will, but for the most part, you're going to have to surround yourselves with new friends. And what happens when you get to college and your roommate is a guy that you find out likes to get drunk 5 nights a week, comes home late at night, brings people all around. And that's not in line with you being successful at what you want to do. What happens if you are an athlete that plays in the next level? People are going to want to be with friends with you for the wrong reasons. If you're a student, will know that by hanging out with you, he's going to be at a higher social status, so he wants to associate himself with you. That same situation, maybe you go to a party and you have another friend that says, "Hey, what are you doing? You need to go home. You got practice in the morning. You got a game. You need to do the right things." Surround yourselves with good people. I played for Larry Bird my first 3 years in the NBA. And Larry, I didn't play much my rookie year. And at the end of the year, I went to Larry and I said, "Coach, I want to be better. I want to have a bigger role on this team. What is it that I need to do to have a bigger role?" And he said to me, he looked me in the eye and he said, "Austin, you have a lot of holes in your game." That's it. That's all he said. You have a lot of holes in your game. So that summer, I went home and I worked on offense, I worked on defense, I worked on strength, speed, quickness, everything. And that next year, I didn't play a whole lot either. The following summer, again, I worked on everything. The next year, my 3rd year, I finally got an opportunity to play, and at the end of the year, I came in 3rd place in the entire NBA in the most improved player of the year, behind Jalen Rose and Dirk Nowitzki. Now, Larry Bird on that day didn't know it, but he told me what I needed to hear. It would have been much easier for him to have said, "Austin, you got veterans in front of you, next year you're going to play more." But maybe I wouldn't have gone home and worked as hard. He told me what I needed to hear. Another example, my wife and I have been married almost 10 years. We have 3 kids, and we had a date night just last week. And we went out to a nice dinner, and about halfway through the dinner, my wife says, "Baby, I got to tell you something." And I say, "Oh, okay, what you got to tell me?" She says, "I think you talk too much." And I say, "Okay, you're just telling me this now?" And as was mentioned in my introduction, I'm getting into the broadcasting field, and I had just done a game for the Indiana Pacers the night before. My wife watched all of my games, so she has an ear for the broadcasting and things that she likes and she doesn't. She pointed out that she thought I talked too much. I watched the tape, and I could see certainly in points of the game where I was talking too much. And again, it's the point. It would have been easy for my wife to have said, baby, you're doing great. You're awesome. A little harder for her to put herself out there and say that. In your life, if you want to be successful, you have to surround yourselves with people that will tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. And the last thing is you have to work incredibly hard. You guys, without knowing it, have pushed yourselves beyond physical and mental limits that a majority of people have not and never will. A majority of people, when they reach a certain level of physical discomfort, will shut down and not push themselves. You guys from a young age, whether it's 17, suicides, whatever it might have been, have pushed yourself beyond a certain level. You've had coaches that have helped push you beyond a certain level. And not only have you done it physically, but you've done it mentally. How many times have you done a drill where you had to make 2 free throws, and if you didn't, your entire team had to run? Making a free throw late in the game is not about muscle memory and form. It's about mental strength. Those are things that will serve you well going forward. For those of you going to college, the same people that you enter college with are the same people that you will enter the workforce with. In a competitive environment, you have an advantage. Use it. 3 things. Identify something that you're good at. Surround yourselves with people that will foster and nurture that skill, and then work incredibly hard. Guys, most of you have a game this weekend. How do you want to remember it? I played 4 years of high school basketball, 4 years of college basketball, 12 years in the NBA, 20 years, and I only cut down nets twice. My junior year of high school, we won a sectional championship, and we lost in the semi-state. 2 years later, my freshman year of college, played at Providence College in the Big East Conference. It was the Big East tournament. In the first round of that tournament, we played Villanova with Kerry Kittles, and we won. The semifinals, we played the University of Connecticut with Ray Allen. We won. In the championship game against Georgetown with Allen Iverson, we won the Big East Championship in Madison Square Garden, one of the most famous buildings in this entire planet. We cut down the net at both places. I still have a piece of that net, of those nets. When you guys are done playing, whether it be this weekend, 5 years from now, 20 years from now, you won't remember the 30-point game that you had early in the season that your team lost by 20 points. You won't remember the double-double that you had in the game that your team lost by 20 points. You will remember the biggest games and the biggest moments. Unfortunately, as vividly as I remember cutting down those nets, you will remember the moments where you came close but didn't win. Sometimes you'll remember them more. For me, my senior year of college, we were in the NCAA tournament, which is going on right now. We were a 10 seed. In the first round of that tournament, we played Marquette, who was a 7 seed, and we won. In the second round of that tournament, we played mighty Duke, a 2 seed, who won the ACC tournament that year. Again, we won. In the next round of the tournament, we played Tennessee Chattanooga, who was another Cinderella team, and we won. And the next round, we played Arizona in the Elite 8 with a chance to go to the Final Four. Big stage, big moment. Early in that game, I was a power forward center. Early in that game, I was in the backcourt, and I did one of those moves, you know, where you reach behind the guard and you try and poke it loose, the one the coaches hate seeing their centers do, and I got a foul. Later in that game, I went for an offensive rebound. The guy had me blocked out perfectly. I had no chance. I went over his back, got a foul. Next play, instead of moving my feet and taking a charge, I reached, fouled, got out of the game. Senior year, 3 minutes to go, down 6, I foul out with a chance to go to the Final Four. We end up tying the game, going to overtime and losing. Arizona that year ended up winning the national championship. They did it here in Indianapolis at the RCA Dome. And I can't help but think how I remember it. If I hadn't made that stupid foul, if I hadn't tried to go over the back when I didn't have a chance, if I had gotten there early and done what I was supposed to do and taken a charge, maybe I don't foul out of that game. I was the leading scorer on the team. Maybe we win in regulation, maybe we win in overtime. Maybe it doesn't make a difference. Maybe we still lose. But that's how I remember it. Fast forward a couple of years and I'm playing for the Indiana Pacers. We're in the NBA Finals. We play the Los Angeles Lakers. We lose the first 2 games in that series in Los Angeles. We come here. We win game 3. Game 4, we're in this building in overtime. And I miss a blockout on Robert Horry. He gets an offensive rebound, kicks it out to Kobe Bryant. Kobe knocks down a shot. Reggie Miller has a shot at the end of that game. A three-pointer we're down to win the game. Reggie misses the shot. And I can't help but think, if I had blocked my man out, that shot now comes to win the game. Maybe we go for a two-pointer. If Reggie misses it, we go to a second overtime and a chance to win. 2 games later, we blow them out in Game 5, Game 6. We go to Los Angeles, and late in that game, I get the ball on the block. I shoot a turnaround jump shot, and I fade away. I never fade away. I always step my man off, get space, take my shot. A couple possessions later, I'm on the weak side block. Kobe Bryant's got the ball on the strong side. He beats his man off the dribble, and I'm late to react. I get across the lane, I'm late, I reach, block, makes the basket, and won. We end up losing Game 6, they win the championship. And I can't help but think, if I had taken the shot I was supposed to take, if I had gotten across the lane and taken the charge, maybe we win Game 6. Maybe it doesn't make a difference. But that's how I remember it. Guys, you can't control whether you go 2 of 8 from the field in your game this weekend or 8 for 10. But you can control if you dive on the floor for a loose ball. You can control whether you don't gamble for that steal, whether you don't go over the back. You can control whether you get across the lane and you take that charge. Guys, I'm going to say it for the last time. You've got a game this weekend. How do you want to remember it? Thank you.